Hey, CC families. Winter break is over. It's week 13, cycle 2 of foundations, and we're memorizing some more facts, and I know that you probably have some questions. Actually, you probably have just one big question, which is, why are we doing this? Your kids are reciting a lot of information. A lot of it is interesting. Some of it is really fun, but some of it goes way over their heads. And you may be wondering, what's the point of learning all of this at such a young age? Now, I'm not going to tell you about how memorizing is good for your brain, although it is, and there's plenty of data to back that up. I'm not even going to try and inspire you by invoking truth and goodness and beauty and soul nurturing, inspiring wonder, setting a feast before your child. I could, I won't, but another time. This is about showing you exactly how the facts your students are memorizing today are preparing them for their future studies in CC. So let's connect the dots. In Foundations Week 13, students are memorizing liquid equivalents. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup, 2 cups equals 1 pint, 2 pints equals 1 quart, and 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. This piece of memory work is extremely important to know. Of course, it's immediately useful to anyone who has ever or will ever follow a recipe, but it goes far beyond that. In classical conversations right now, the Challenge A students are in the middle of their preparations for science fair. They've designed an original experiment to test a hypothesis, and now they're analyzing their data, they're drawing conclusions, and they're deciding how to present it. They're 12 years old, by the way. All of a sudden, those boring liquid equivalents, they're now the difference between a student who can focus on experimental design versus one who's still struggling with basic measurements. Fast forward to Challenge 1. They're 14 now, and they're studying physical science. They're conducting labs in community, and they're writing formal lab reports. Here's what knowing the memory work looks like in real life. So say your student is conducting an experiment on solution concentrations. The lab procedure says add 1.5 cups of water, but their measuring container only shows fluid ounces. Without automatic recall of measurement conversions, they're stopping mid-experiment to Google conversions, and they're potentially losing their train of thought and making errors. Memory work removes the friction so that the brain can do the actual work. Let's look at Latin. The week 13 memory work is first conjugation present tense endings. That's OST, must, tis, unt. This feels so abstract in Foundations. The kids are just memorizing sounds. But in Challenge B, students are working their way through Henley first year Latin. Here's the thing though, they're not just memorizing the sounds anymore, they're translating sentences. And to do this, they need to instantly recognize that an S on the end of a verb means you, and that the T is third person singular, he, she, it. If they're still counting on their fingers to figure out conjugation endings, they can't translate. It's like trying to read English while still sounding out every single letter. None of this higher order thinking happens if the student is still wrestling with basic conjugations. Those rote facts from Foundations free up their working memory to actually think about language, not just decode it. In history this week, students memorize a sentence about the Industrial Revolution. It goes, Watt's steam engine, Cartwright's power loom, and Whitney's cotton gin spurred the Industrial Revolution that began in the 1760s. I'm not going to sing it. There are so many connections throughout the curriculum from this one sentence. First, in Challenge A, as they study history and geography and debate through cartography, they're able to learn about which of our modern borders ended up where they did because of the effects of the Industrial Revolution. And the answer is a lot of them. In Challenge B, the students read more in depth about Eli Whitney, and they wrestle with big questions about the causes and effects of a person's actions and the definition of a hero. It gets really interesting in Challenge 1 as the students study economics, because to understand modern economics, you have to understand economic history. And when they learn how industrialization created the wage labor systems we have today, students who memorize that Industrial Revolution sentence instantly have context. They already know who invented what, where they lived, and when. The only question left is why we shifted from agricultural to industrial economies. And they're able to dive into that without getting confused by the names and the dates. In Challenge 2, as they're reading British literature, understanding the setting of each novel is an important part of engaging with the work. In A Tale of Two Cities, for example, understanding not just the French Revolution, but the Industrial Revolution as well, really brings the story to life. And knowing that Shakespeare lived before the Industrial Revolution helps with understanding Challenge 3 literature. And the story of industrialization goes hand in hand with the story of America that same year. And finally, in Challenge 4, students read The Discoverers, which is a book that ties together all of the history facts that they've learned. This one about the Industrial Revolution comes up a lot. So this one memorized fact becomes a strong peg for understanding so much more later. So here's the bottom line. Every fact that your foundation student memorizes is a tool that they'll use in Challenge. In fact, every fact that they memorize and add understanding to will help them to be a well-educated student. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. It's a gateway not just to cooking, but to scientific research. OST mustis unt enables them to learn more about language and so much more. The memory work is not the goal. It's the foundation for mastery. So keep chanting those facts. Your Challenge student will thank you.